I thought I'd get on today and talk about the concept of time being an illusion. And it can be a challenging concept to grasp because we experience time. We we are living in physical bodies that understand the world and everything around us based on what feels like the flow of time and our movement through space. But quantum mechanics and physicists and the great mystical teachers of the past and even current day have all said that time is an illusion and that this physical existence is also illusory in nature. And so, how do we understand that when we consciously experience time and we experience space and movement and all that comes with it? And I generally rely on metaphors to help grasp different concepts. So I'm going to share with you my favorite metaphor for the illusion of time and hopefully maybe tap into how that connects to quantum mechanics and the way physicists are understanding time now. And I don't claim to be a physicist. I can't do the math, but I can read the conclusions and try to understand those and draw a few conclusions of my own. So, the metaphor that I like to use, and it's not original to me, is the idea of time being like watching a film. And younger people may not understand this as well, only because you've lived in the digital era and perhaps you have never seen an actual film strip based movie. But when I was growing up, we would go to the movie theater and the movies would come in a big round tin that held a strip that all the frames of the movie are on. And it just, if you pull out the film strip, you can see one image next to another. And in each image, it's slightly different. There's a little bit of movement. And of course, the sound is also embedded in the film. And so when they would put the film into the projector, the spinning wheel of the projector would move that film in front of a light that was projected onto the screen in the movie theater. And these little images would pass by the light that was projecting the image so quickly that the projected image seemed to move and the sound, you could hear the sound in the spoken word. And it gave the illusion of those characters in the movie moving through time and space, the illusion of movement. Now, we all know there were no actual actors walking across the screen at the time. It was all a projected image. And that's very much the way we can understand our experience of the physical 3D world. Time is in essence an illusion. The whole film strip exists all at once, right? You don't have one film and then another film and then another film. You have the whole roll of film with all of the images attached. And it's the projection of those images one after another at a rate that our brains see as seamless, that our physical system understands as seamless movement. And that's very similar to what we experience here. So I really love that metaphor. The way that physicists conceive of this is that reality is something that phases in and out of the quantum field. And we can think of it like uh, a vibratory rate, a vibratory speed. And if there are physicists out there that disagree with the way that I describe this, by all means, uh, you know, leave a comment. But this is kind of working for me in the moment. So things are blipping in and out at close to the Planck scale of time, which is a teeny, teeny, tiny little unit of time. It's kind of the smallest that we can manage to acknowledge basically in physics. And so as particles, blip in and out, as the wave function collapses and becomes material, we see this succession of of blipping in and out as if it's continuity and creating the sense of movement and space and time. And for us, time flows from the past to the present into the future. Einstein conceived of the theory of relativity, that time is relative to rates of speed. And so as you approach the speed of light, time slows down. When you reach the speed of light, time stops. So if your perception, your relative perception based on your speed of movement determines the rate of time, then we understand that time can be variable to the point of its no longer existing, at least at the speed of light. The way I think of this, and again, a physicist might tell me there's a better way to understand it, but the way I kind of conceive of this is that we are vibrating, our physical bodies vibrate, and our consciousness even potentially has a vibratory rate. It's certainly being filtered by the human brain, though. I believe that consciousness exists outside of the body. In fact, it's far more out than in. And it's filtered by the human brain. And it is both our physical as well as our conscious vibrational rate that determines our perception of time. So the faster we vibrate on a physical and perhaps a spiritual or conscious level, the more our perception of time is altered. So another interesting thing to think about with this is that our ability to perceive our loved ones who are now at a different vibratory state because they're no longer focused into a physical body is just outside of our perception in most cases. But if we raise our personal vibratory rate, we can begin to have access to it. And for me, that's how communication across the veil occurs, is that I work at my own vibratory state. I work at raising my vibration so that I can meet my loved ones halfway, and they can come down a little bit and I go up a little bit, and we meet somewhere in the middle, and information is able to be passed from that location. As I talked about the last time when we were discussing reincarnation, all of these things are happening at once. They're all happening in the eternal now. Time does apparently seem to be an illusion, but it's a very real experience. And that's part of what we're here for, is to experience time, to experience space and motion and the passage of time, and to remember that we, at our core nature, are much, much greater than the physical personas, the physical personalities and bodies that we have focused our conscious attention into. I hope this gives you a construct to help wrap your mind around these very difficult metaphysical ideas, that time and our experience here on Earth might be illusory in nature, and that consciousness is base reality, and that it survives, exists well beyond and outside of the physical body. And we can continue to connect on a conscious level with those we love.